Hello, welcome to day 3 of 5 days to full body. We are going to be doing the stomach and the back today, and I will be primarily blasting with the brush and blast base because you need something a little bit longer. It's easier to reach the back and get that yourself. If you have any issues or concerns when it comes to your ability to reach your back, you can do extenders. The Ashley cells, those little rings that come with it, tend to break. So go to your local hardware store, Home Depot, Lowe's, whichever. You can get hose clamps. They're like a metal circle, and they've got a little tightener, and those will not crack like the plastic one does. You also have the option to pick up some elbow conduits. I believe 1.25 inch is the right size to fit on a blasting handle. And those are usually in the plumbing aisle at Home Depot or Lowe's, and those, for the most part, pop on to the blasting tool and that has a handle. It gives you some extra extension so you have more room without having to be able to reach actually behind yourself. I have good range of motion, so I do not need them, nor do I use them. So I'm just oiling up right now. If you have loose skin, like you can see, I still have some here, extra oil, and your skin's gonna move. Your body's gonna kind of wiggle and jiggle with the tool. Just go with the flow, and that makes it much, much easier. I'll tell to wipe my hands off. All right, brush and blast base. I'm gonna do this standing. You can blast your core lying down, braced backwards across something to kind of stretch and extend, especially if you have a lot of loose skin. The more you can stretch yourself out, the better. Blasting your own back and stomach does tend to make you winded. It is a workout. Just go with it. See, the skin and your belly is going to move. Just try to go with the flow. You don't want to dig in too much where you're stuck. You're going kind of over and just go with the ripples like waves in an ocean. All right. It does get better. This spot right here used to be one of those like full fold situations where I had the big deep dent, and now I've gotten it broken up and down to just this little ripply line that for the most part lays really flat. I'm leaning to the side just to extend out along my ribs and obliques. I do primarily the diamond technique on my stomach, which is basically making a diamond around the belly button. Up and down. Once a month when I finish my core blast, I do microneedling or derma rolling over the skin to help with the loose skin. You do that once every like 3 to 4 weeks. I'm going to turn around and show y'all how I kind of work the whole trunk area as one. I do blast my glutes, but I do that on the upper leg day. So we will get into that video next. That is a personal preference. Some people feel like they lose volume. Personally, the blood flow has done more for my workouts and getting adhesions out of there that were pulling on my low back. So if my butt gets a little flat, to me, it's worth it. All right, just kind of working around the whole core, starting to get some redness. I do blast my upper back as well. Let me move my hair out of the way and I'll show you. I thought I brought a hair tie in here. Apparently I lost it somewhere on the way. So I take the tool in one hand, I reach over, and I just kind of go back and forth and across, up and down. Same here. There's usually only one spot I can't get as well as I would like on my own, and that is right here. So I bribe my husband and children and ask for help and get them to help me. So now I'm going to take the Pro Blaster, and as you can see, I don't have visible abs, but I pretend I do, and I kind of draw them on with this. So I go up and down. I've got the tool tipped on the side, just kind of carving down the middle where people would have that little ab line. Go across this roll right here. It's called hourglass syndrome. If you've ever seen any of my other videos, it's from sucking it in a lot as a kid and deep fascia adhesions stuck under the rib cage. It's literally just kind of like a fatty roll that sits right on top of my ribs. I'm going to move my belly and loose skin out of the way, lean to the side a little bit, and just kind of carve around my hip bone. My hips were always very tight. There was always some adhesions kind of hiding in there. So when I first started, this whole area used to be very hard. It had a lot more fat, but it was also like my fingers didn't push in. And if I grabbed, I couldn't roll my skin between. It was like a big lump. So if you have very firm, hard, fatty, like belly area, it might be hard to get to your hip bone at first, but keep going. Eventually you get through it. I'll show you one trick when we're done that I highly recommend if you have that firmer belly area. It's gliding cupping. I do it in the shower. Just, while this tool's in my hand, go ahead and work my way around. Low back. Lots of leaning when it comes to back and ab blasting. The firmer you can make everything, the easier it is to do. And again, this is one of those things, do what you have, use what you have, and do what you can. There we go. All right, I usually take the edge of this tool and I find the bottom of my rib cage, which is right here, and I do a little carving under it because I'm still working on getting this deep adhesion to fully let go. So I just do a few good swoops under there. Whew. I'm telling you, blasting the core in the back is a lot of work. Now I'm going to take Pro Nugget and same thing, just kind of blast along the rib cage. I don't use this one as much on this like softer part of the belly skin, but the places that are a little firmer and I can stretch out and I need a little deeper, like I go around my hips, across the rib cage. And I only do that, I only avoid this area just because I have so many stretch marks and that skin is pretty fragile as it is. So I stick to small claw, large claw. Sometimes I'll do very lightly over it, or if I find an adhesion like in my obliques, I'll try to move the softer part of my skin out of the way and comb down. And I do go around when I'm working my low back. I imagine taking any fatty extra stuff and pushing it to my butt. Because if it's gonna be a muffin top, it might as well help me out and go make my butt bigger, right? So I usually push downward. And then this spot right here, where my ribs come around the back, there's always some adhesions in there that I'm working on getting out. And again, you can always blast as long as you need, or as long as you want on your back. I will finish doing my upper back after, but I do like to take the Pro Nugget and just kind of press and hold up here because my traps and shoulders always get so tight. It's just really hard to always find a good top where I can show you guys all the blasting. And this poor bra has been with me for years. It has so much oil all over it that it's a trooper. Might as well just keep dirtying up the same one. All right. And again, just kind of going under the ribs with one row of the nuggets. My stomach is something that I ice every day. I keep the Velcro cold packs in my freezer when I'm in the kitchen cooking. Right now I'm going to do just like kind of a little plucking motion on this line. So when I'm in the kitchen cooking, I will just take the Velcro ice pack, put it over a thin t-shirt, walk around while I do my cooking while wearing it. And that gives me about 10 to 15 minutes of cold therapy on the loose skin area. It's good for inch loss, firming up the skin, kind of lifting and tightening all around. All right. If you are new to blasting your belly, you may notice some cleansing, like detox type reactions, more digestive movement, because there's fascia that runs all in, through, and around our organs, and stimulating that sometimes gets things moving. You may find that you bloat after a day of doing the belly blasting. I no longer have that happen. It used to happen to me in the beginning. So I just timed doing my stomach blasts around the days that I was usually bloated for my cycle anyway. That way I didn't have to really worry about it being on a day when I didn't want it to be. I'm already puffy and bloated, so I would just blast a day or two before that, puff up for 24 to 48 hours, and then it moves itself out. This is where dry brushing and the lymphatic drainage and the flushing and the flow can be so important, because if you're new, your body's trying to detox everything out, and sometimes it needs a little help on the way. So what I was talking about earlier, if you have like the firm, hard belly skin and you can't feel in it without grabbing like big hard chunks of just kind of stuck fatty spots, this is a gliding cup. It's a silicone, squishy, like mushroom shape. This particular one is from Lure. I have them, the Amazon link is in my link tree, so I'll put that at the bottom for you. But use this in the shower, get super lathered up. You can do it with oil, but the cup pulls the oil off your skin. So do it as the last thing for blasting so you're not wasting oil. When you get it lathered up, you're going to press and suction it on, and you can drag it around. Like right now, just going around my hip. You can go across. I don't have quite enough oil on, so it's moving. You can go up and down, side to side. And when you're super soapy and lathery It's a lot easier to get the suction that you need and move, get on there, in a circle. There you go, around the belly. Just do not put it over your belly button. But you can move the cup in circles. You can move it in lines. I like to drag it all over the place. I'll even go across my back with it. I do my legs with it. Honestly, it's so easy in the shower while soapy. So it's one of my favorite ways to open up the surface layers and kind of soften anywhere that I have a lot of tension or tightness or stubborn spots, especially like the backs of my legs. All right, that's it for day 3 of 5 days to full body. Again, this is just day 3 in the order that I am following. You can follow these videos in any order that you would like. You can mix and match. This is just one example of the routine that works for me right now. All right, see y'all soon.